situation here for Optic Gaming. Now, again, that's a very confident position from Yugi, and Config again, Liberty's being taken, or are they? Excurate ready for it, and there's still time to rotate back, but Snappy's going forward, having a look down Banana, so we can call for the rotation if needed. Gade forced away. There's isolation now, but Gade's still alive. Tyloo has to deal with it. Somebody flying from out of nowhere, and out of the crossfire here for the CTs. They look one way, Tyloo, they get taken down from the other, and now Excurate is the last one to fall onto the floor face first, and that is a solid round from Optic Gaming.
Yeah, really nice late hold there from them. And again, you can see that they have the reads and they're looking to make those plays. Of course, Optic do get caught. I forget who was it, Excurate or Ping?
Yes.
Yeah, so Excurate does catch the flank attempt, but just the fact that there is a flank attempt at that timing is quite cool from Optic. Just shows that they've got a really good read of what Tyloo are up to, and that seems to be the theme so far. And if that continues, we could see a very dominant half at this point.
Yes, it seems Optic Gaming have expectations as to where they are likely to be able to get away with aggression that they may not be able to versus a different team. 4 players now in the A-bot side for Optic, all around it. Somebody is taking out DD towards the arch position, but Config is ready for him. Excurate, that's the bomb now on short. No trade frags here for Tyloo, and Captain Mo is alone with the Desert Eagle, so this is not the nicest of rounds for Tyloo, nor is it the nicest of scores.
Yeah, Optic looking really good right now. Like, Gade is 12 for 1, so he's loving life, being sort of the pit anchor. And often, you want a really confident rifler, a very consistent rifler, who's a smart player as well, playing those anchoring positions, and that, pit position has been pretty iconic on Inferno. And teams will often put some of their best rifles on there. Forrest typically used to always be the pit player because he was so reliable with a rifle. And those multi-kills back in the days. And double AWP is definitely something that's scary here for Tyloo, and they're going to go and try and burst on these apartments, abandoning Banana at the early timings of the round completely. Are they actually going to try to burst out the balcony? This will be quite interesting. Yugi spots the movement, and that's going to delay things, surely.
What does he do with the AWP? Okay, they do not pursue, especially because of how funneled the apartments are. They would have taken colossal damage trying to run through that. And if there was a grenade behind it as well, it would have been like, was it TSM versus Star Series when Taz barbecued 3 or 4 players? The Sunday roast, the fabled Sunday roast. 1 minute mark and Tyloo are in the mid position. Snappy has been left alone with Banana. Capable hands, one of the 2 sniper rifles. Config just shy of Speedway to have the initial engagement. This is similar to a Liquid setup, what we're currently seeing from Config and Cajun B, where the player looking through Arch will take the initial engagement with a pixel angle, and then the Arch player further back near library would pop out and abuse a distraction. Snappy going for a flick, Config is close by, and KGB's rotating as well, so again, going to look towards the side for the most part, but Bentet is ready for it.
That's a big one. Now Snappy with the AWP, he misses his shot. The spray coming through though is doing some damage. KGB can't quite see the player above, and Snappy will go down. This looks like it could be an opportunity now for Tyloo. A 2 versus 3 with the AWP on Captain Mo. KGB will dart through the smoke though, and he'll understand that Banana's completely clear. He's got a teammate coming from that position as well. Captain Mo is pivotal. The AWP defender, it can be very strong, but now he's alone. Hits the first shot. 2 more to go. Now just 1 as he looks for the final player. Where is he though? Doesn't know, but he hears the sound cue. There's no flick. Gade gets it done on the rotation. Saves the day for his 14th kill. And there comes a defuse. Plenty of time. He is having quite a fun game, James.
He is indeed, and it was fairly recently that Tyloo got this 1 round on the board, which means they're still building their loss bonus, and even though they planted the bomb, the money is not great at all, looking towards their next buy. Great performance from Captain Mo though. He made it expensive for the CTs. That may have a part to play later on. We'll have to wait and see. I think Cajun B, I feel like he didn't see the player over the smoke because I think that's a resolution thing. I don't know what res he plays, but I imagine if he was 10 ACP, there's a reasonable chance he would have seen that player, but here we go. But also, sometimes the smokes are worse on their POVs than the spectator clients. quick shot from Optic, and they will move back as there were holes in the defences there in the short term. Snappy and config on banana, and they await Tyloo. Do they expect to buy? Do they expect an eco? Maybe even a half buy. Still waiting to find out. Not many shots have been taken by Tyloo just yet. Tyloo walking very slowly, trying to avoid the initial grenades and exhaust the utilities before they try to play that numbers game into the D1 site. Cajun B's jiggling towards Arch, and I do wonder how curious Optic will be towards that A site. I wonder if they get their rotation in time, because right now it's a 5 versus 2. Obviously Tyloo only have 3 players with Kevlar. Snappy's falling back for the pop flash, and the timing is absolutely perfect. Config will get a 1 versus 1, but he gets traded, and Snappy has enough to do to stop this bomb from going down. They will combine forces, and at the very least there'll be a bomb plant for Tyloo.
Yeah, another 2v3, but ooh, the lineup there with the deco. I almost saw a double coming in. Unfortunately for Captain Mo, that is not the case, and he will go down. Another bomb planted, and as you mentioned, yeah, there is a round loss bonus to go on top of the money that they just picked up from the bomb plant, so it's going to look very good for them. But they need to win rounds, and so far Optic have shown that they have this CT side on absolute lock. I have to say, the CT side from Optic is so solid, like from a fundamental perspective, the ways that they're choosing the CT setups, how they're playing them, the sorts of ways that they're understanding how to read their various situations and play off of each other. It's really looking very good, honestly. Great fundamentals, and Tyloo have been unable to really break that. So, really excited to see if they can make something happen in this round. Execute back on the AWP. We know what he's able to do with that thing. Yuki going aggressive in the apps though, denied again. We never see Yuki go too aggressive though, which is quite cool.
Yeah, again, I do think that we're seeing heightened aggression from Optic Gaming, and I do think it's a cultural thing, because they are not playing a team used to European Counter-Strike as much as, well, a team from Europe. There are liberties that they can take that they wouldn't be able to against a different team. And it's been hard for Tyloo to adapt to that. They've punished a peak here and there, but it's one round. It was pretty cool parkour. The funny thing is, because he jumps out of the balcony and then runs back up to top mid, because it's Tyloo, you never quite know what is going to happen after this. It was pretty cool to see. But here we go, they've got their second round on the board. Now, Optic Gaming have another buy in them, but if Tyloo can win this round, then there's no money left for Optic Gaming, and perhaps 6 rounds in the first half is a doable mission for Tyloo.
Yeah, I'm still wondering how Gates died, because he died in a Molotov and he was in the corner of pit, so I can only think that he was blind or something.
Maybe he was in a duel crossing or something like that, and most of the damage was done by a gun.
Well, maybe, but the player jumping out the balcony just jumped straight back in towards quad, so I don't think he...
It was magic.
I don't know. Yeah, I think it's just a mystery. I think it's... if you know, just please tweet me, because I'm very confused by that. But it is... Maybe there is some light at the end of the tunnel here for Tyloo. They've managed to get Optic onto what could be a last buy, and if they want to have a competitive half here, Tyloo must win this round, and Optic will be actually going for a double AWP, which is going to deny them having much in the way of utility, and we know how important utility is on Inferno, so that might encourage Yuki to maybe this time he will go for a full deep peek on second mid with that AWP, or maybe a mid push, you never know.
Interestingly, because they've played 11 rounds so far and they've been pretty comfortable, I would say, especially at the beginning of the rounds, it might be that they need less utility, for example, to secure banana and set up the AWP than they might in a different match. That may have something to do with it. We'll have to see what they try to do. Bentet just quickly reconnecting to the server. Something is going on with him, and once that's sorted out, we will be good to go. 2 rounds for Tyloo so far, and no one has more than 6 kills in the 11 rounds which have passed for Tyloo. DD and somebody with 6, Captain Mo with 5. Captain Mo, a man who was walking again after having a, was it a tibula? Fibula?
I'm not going to...
Something in his leg was hurt, and then he couldn't walk for a while. But now he can walk, so that's good.
I think it's tibia.
Tibia. Is it tibia and fibula?
Is it? That's fibia. Is it fibia?
I'm sure one of them is fibula.
Your thigh bone is the femur. I know that one. And tibia, I think, isn't that your forearm? I forget.
Somebody tweet us science, please.
And give us the...
Tibula.
I thought...
Tibia. Okay, is it fibula?
I really feel ashamed of my...
Yeah, it is fibula. Well, there is a fibula.
It's the word, yes.
The fibula or calf bone is a leg bone located on the lateral side of the tibia. There's a bone in your leg called fibula, let's just say that. So I was partly right. I knew one of them was Ula. Anyway, we are back into the match. So we have the 2 AWPs. They do have a reasonable amount of grenades. They hadn't brought them all up.
Yeah, that's crazy.
When we were first observing, but here we go.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
The odds are going up on Tyloo. It was 4 point something, now it's a clean 5.
Yeah. They have to win this round. Yeah, here is the mid-aggression. Beautiful. Yugi going deep. How long will he stay out there for, though? We have seen this pacing from Tyloo where they have pretty much all of their players, except for one, just on T-pit, and they're going to burst into banana, in fact, with this. And this is quite a cool move, considering that Optic don't have that much utility. It's difficult for them to stop it at this point in the round.
Yeah, that was nice. They threw a Molotov behind the car position, through the smoke, had a pop flash. Let's take this away from them, try and catch them out of position. Didn't quite happen, but they have banana early, so we won't have the shenanigans of old. Yugi still has eyes towards, I say towards top mid, but he's just been smoked off. So now Optic don't have any information to either side. KGB engaged playing on A, so this will be a surprise for Tyloo. They're looking at a 5 versus 2 situation at the moment.
Yeah, Optic are really just conceding any information in this round, and they have to rely on just a skillful hold. It'll be very difficult against the grenades. Good start. Snappy picks up one. Second one will be whipped though, and Config cleans up. Great spray comes in. Snappy still needs to be dealt with, and eventually DD will deal with him. Now it's up to them to deal with Config as well. Picks up the AWP, in fact, as it's just DD left, just jumping around the coffins back in towards the pull position where Yugi will blind him, and Optic Gaming will take the round with just only one player lost.
They have to get more frags out of that.
Yeah, that was impressive by Config. The spray was so effective. Here it is.
That's crazy. There's so many people, but they just couldn't do it. Extra gets shot in the bum as well. Nobody likes that. Unless it's a vaccine. So 10-2. I think half time will be a relief for Tyloo at this point, because if you get 1 kill out that situation, then I don't know how much hope there is for you. 2 players with pistols in this round. Yugi not afraid to peek. I was going to say, let's see if he's good at a jack-in-the-box game, but doesn't feel like playing right now.
I like the incendiary there. He knows that there's not enough time has gone in the round, that's the first timing that someone could reasonably push him from the boiler position, and then he wanted to rotate out of that position. And there goes the incendiary. So, like clockwork, literally. Therefore, Yugi with the AWP and his repositioning. Timing a very important consideration in the game of Counter-Strike. And here comes the push into that A bomb site. Will this work out?
That was a great flashbang on short, and it allows them to close the distance. Yugi has been taken out. Lovely opening frag, but there are smokes all over the place. Who will they face? Gade creeping around from the graveyard, but he can't quite get anything done. Well, one kill, but he's traded immediately. KGB falling back. Fading to black. Config top mid, and Snappy from the B bomb site. They don't really have the money, Optic. There's a 2 versus 4, and there are more rounds to play, so I think Tyloo may have got themselves round number 3 in the bag.
Yeah, the set piece worked out really well. That Molotov seemed to do a huge amount on the bomb site. You know, Cage and B, like, just stuck repositioning for what felt like forever, I'm sure, for him. And Gade only got 1, close to getting 2, but with nothing from Cajun B as well, that was just a slight loss. So really nice push in from Tyloo. Can they replicate it though? It's not exactly the same situation, obviously, as we saw on Gambit's T side just recently with Overpass, whereas like, I mean, it doesn't really works, but if we just rush them, we might have a chance of winning rounds. I don't think it's quite the same situation, but it definitely is a pretty troubling one, because consistency, like rushing is not the most consistent way to play the game, and so far that's mostly been what's worked for Tyloo. That said, it can be stylistic for them, but we'll see if they can offer up something here now that Optic will have a low buy. Some decisions to be made here.
Yes, indeed. A tactical timeout from Optic as they consider their options for the last 2 rounds. Weapons are being dropped. Snappy and Cajun B will have UMPs. Yugi will have the AWP. Config on an M4. Again, some trivia for you. The UMP is the successor to the MP5. UMP45 is like a upgraded MP5. People think MP5, MP7 in terms of lineage, but no, MP5 is the dad of the UMP45.
What's the wife, James? That's the
I don't know, the science is beyond me.
Well, again, like the buy actually doesn't look too bad when you throw the UMPs in the mix. $1,200 for those, you can get almost full nades. That's it's pretty awesome on this map. Now, what can they do with it? Optic have had, of course, just repeated success on this CT side of theirs, playing 3 towards B at the start of the round, and Tyloo, they have a quicker pace into the apartments this time around, and they are respecting the smoke grenades of Optic on that banana position to start with. And you can see that this is definitely a play that Snappy really wants to make with this UMP. Any way that you can get close with that weapon, you're going to try to choose to do so. And they've got Cajun B with the other UMP with him as well. So we might see a push timing if Tyloo don't go for a retake of banana. But if they do, and it looks like they may actually opt to do that, it could be a whole world of pain at the hands of those UMPs.
Smoke towards Arch. There's a response from Yugi in case of a fast play from Tyloo, and he will fall back as he is pretty much forced to at this point. 3 players on banana, very aggressive position. Captain Mode caught by surprise, trying to trade the frags. Bente gets more than that, and he's going to run up. They think there's only 2 people towards B, but Config is there as well. But what can he do? What is cause a rotation? Yugi and Gade looking for info top mid, and somebody's still lurking in apartments, but so he's not going to see these players. DD exchanging with somebody, with Gade in the mid, and now there are 2 CTs towards this B bomb site. He's still going to expect Config, but he's been spotted. And there he goes. Yugi now making his way towards construction perhaps, but what can he really do in this situation? In the meantime, somebody picked off the player who was exchanging with DD elsewhere, so now it's Yugi versus 4.
Yeah, he might be getting a bit too deep here with this AWP. It's going to be impossible surely to push this bomb site. They may just have to stay put, and then eventually the bomb will kill him. There's no way out of this situation where he survives, I think. So might want to just try to get as much damage as you can. He peaked, in fact, so offered up the damage here. Ooh, no scope opportunity, will whiff. And well done to Tyloo. You got to give it to them to sort of deal with the setup in the way that they did. That was a great follow-up from Bente, opening things up. And also, I think what was really cool was Optics, the way that they decided to play that round. They're like, okay, we've got 2 UMPs, let's get them close. You know what, let's just make a 3-man setup on banana with it. And I think there's a world where that goes right much more of the time than it goes wrong. So, again, credit to Tyloo, picked up the 4th round. If they can get number 5 on the board, which they're likely to do so, considering the weaponry difference, then that's a good place to be on that second half. Good enough, at least.
Snappy and Config towards B. Not much to play with. And it's Tyloo with all the toys. Captain Mo and Bente ahead of the smoke at the bottom of banana. A high flashbang will be a warning sign to Optic, and they start to fall off. No rotation from the 3 players towards A just yet. Possibly assuming that Tyloo are just looking for map control right now, and they will not pursue further with a minute 15 on the clock, and they would be correct. Snappy moving back, lining up a flashbang towards pool if necessary. But here come Tyloo towards A. 5 players. Somebody has kept the CTs honest, just being outside apartments in case they push or go to the balcony. An exchange of fire from the recipients. And now Config starting to creep towards B, towards Banana rather, looking for information. That's a well-timed smoke grenade. That will slow Tyloo down.
This buy is, I do actually have some fear here for Tyloo. The timing, that said, Optic are rotating towards A with force, so just config on that. B-bomb site's the last round though, so they're going to have to go for it anyway. Through these will likely be some smokes, but somebody will cut off that rotation, so it looks like it's going to be held onto very easily here for Tyloo. So 5 rounds surely in the back at this point, and
when Tyloo started rotating to the B-bomb site, there were 5 smoke grenades around the A site, towards the library position, towards Arch and elsewhere as well. There were 5 smoke grenades, so that's a lot of information Optic don't have. And on previous rounds we saw Tyloo with a smoke on the hay bales and pop flashes with players jumping out, so probably made Optic fear and execute. So Tyloo managed to find themselves towards the end of this half, and that'll be good for 5 rounds it seems. Gade left with the 5-7. So statistics now, but his will get a bit worse with that kill. 10-5, Tyloo with 5 rounds on the board, and you would be maybe surprised to see them get this far with how the first half of the first half was going, but there they are, they've got 5 rounds, and now there is a world of potential, but the first step on the road is the pistol round.
yeah, Optic did play a really good Inferno, I have to say, on that CT side, and I think that Tyloo have a lot to live up to in that sense. First comes the pistol, of course, but I'm just happy that they managed to get a few rounds on the board. I really wasn't expecting it when we saw, you know, what was it like, would have been like, I don't know, 9-8-2, something like that. Either way, what do we have here for our teams? We've got Optic Gaming with 2 men who have grenades. Config getting a P250 as well. We'll love to see that. P250, a fantastic choice in these pistol rounds. I recommend it if you have not tried it. Don't need that Kevlar all the time. The utility goes a long way. Snappy with a deep nade, and that's a really cool one too, because you'll often find that there will be a CT sitting there on that angle, and it may be the case that it doesn't have even any Kevlar, so it could have been, can be quite a big nade. Optic though looking to burst on that A site, it would seem.
4 players on A. Is this a hard read from Tyloo? Somebody has much to do. DD he's on the site with a CZ, so we'll see how that goes. Well, he'll get the first frag. Somebody delivering. Captain Mo trying to get his gate impression on, but only 1 kill for him. Make it 2. And now Config is alone. Nice shot with a P250. 1 versus 3. He doesn't have the bomb. The bomb is deep in the pit, which means he knows he's facing a 1 versus 3 situation. Maybe he can get a 1v1, having a quick peek in the apartment. So many places to look. Graveyard, library, double stack. And that will be somebody with 2 kills, and Tyloo get their pistol round with some comfort as well. Happy days for them. They have to look towards an 8-10 scoreline if you are a Tyloo player or supporter. That is what they should have. That's what they is on their plates. They just need to eat the food. Execute picking up the scout. Do you ever have those times when you were a kid? You can't leave the table unless you eat everything on your plates.
No, because
I have those times.
My mum said that in her upbringing, that's how they did it, and she hated it so much.
I had to eat.
Didn't subject me to it.
I had to eat a whole chicken on many days. The entire chicken, almost on a daily basis.
That explains why you're so tall, James.
Perhaps it does.
Standing at a height of 6'4", is it?
It is, yeah. Unless I've got Nikes on. Adds a bit more. That's when I start headbutting the tube doors.
Well, let's see if Optic are going to be headbutting the... Well, I don't know how to call that, like the top of the doorway as they try to jump out the balcony.
The door frame, Dan.
Door frame, that's what they're called. Nice words. Well, DD's going to be in for a surprise. Oh dear, that's actually the perfect position for him to be in, for the whole T team to just run into the bomb site. So this is going to work out perfectly for Optic. They pick up the FAMAS. Gade gets it. He's the weakest player, but whatever. Ooh. Cajun gets a very nice headshot there, and this might be safe territory. I don't know how you're going to retake this one.
Just give it up. Give it up.
Ooh.
if you consider they had the smoke down on the site now, I don't know if they expected 2 players to be towards Arch, if that's something that Tyloo do every second round or something along those lines, but there was so much isolation in that one player, and they just got outmaneuvered. The chessboard is all Optic Gaming in this round.
I do wonder if that's one of those situations where, because you're playing outside of what is, let's say, the European meta, that you're not as cognizant to plays like that. But like, to me, I expect those balcony pops like quite often. It's just quite a vogue at the moment. When you have those pistols, teams have worked out how to play them really well. And if you have a setup that's when no one's actually playing the balcony, it's like, and someone's playing there instead, it's just impossible to stop.
Ah, that's where the second frag came from. Shut it down. That is a surprise attack from Optic Gaming, and that gives them a 5-round lead. So perhaps the 8-10 was taken for granted, because it will not be a thing, not in this game. Yugi with the scout on the T side. That is a curious one. And Tyloo will buy around what they saved. 2 CZs, TMP9. CZ used to be a nightmare on Inferno. By no means is it a dream, but it's not what it used to be, and I think we are all happy about that.
Somebody almost made into nobody with that scout shot. I'm sure I'm not the first one to make that pun, but whatever. Does get caught by logs. There goes the smoke. Pretty even exchange of damage though for both teams so far. Tyloo definitely feeling the pressure. They have 3 smokes and an incendiary though, as far as tools to delay their opponent goes, and that could go a long way, because Optic are playing slow and they don't have much map control, and we are hitting the 50-second mark now. So Optic need to get their skates on, and looks like they are fancying that B position, banana area. Bentet spots it. Further delay. Rotation as well for the CTs. 30 seconds now for Optic.
The bomb is moving away from the B bomb site then. It is moving up towards the A site. And DD's heading... I'm not sure if he's going towards B or just playing from CT. Arch is being smoked off. And we see further grenades being deployed towards that library position. And Excurate is about to be on fire. Fire is not good. Captain Mo, oh, he was so close, but not close enough. Excurate has a lot to do now. There's one frag. There's a second one. The bomb's being delivered in the corner, or is it? No, DD says no. Nice pair of Excurate and DD on the A site to shut everything down. No plant for Optic Gaming. That's exactly what Tyloo needed.
Yeah, just typical Tyloo fashion, isn't it? There's just a split second and they'll just get all the kills, just instantly, and no chance to really respond. Optic, you can see, one of the problems there for them was that they had that time pressure, so it meant that obviously the time pressure is kind of part of the nature of the round, because they're playing a fake, and to most effectively run a fake, having a low amounts of time when you do it really sells it. But I think they had a man planting it. That could have been a pair of hands on a gun, trying to trade one of those players on the site. So awkward situation for Optic, but really well played by Tyloo, all things considered. And it is back to the force of the battle of the force bars, James. We're going to have Optic spending everything to try to make this work out for themselves. Do they go for the balcony pop again, I wonder? Surely not.
How can Optic isolate a Tyloo player and then use that to get into significant position? That is the question. They did it well previously, and that balcony pop, as Dan alluded to. So will it be the same approach? Will we see an adjustment from Tyloo, as it is almost a replay of the round, if you will, plus an AK-47? DD starting from the site, and Execute will be at the top of mid for the time being. Captain Mo having a look in apartment. So a more aggressive angle in apartments seems to be a response from Tyloo, perhaps expecting that this could potentially happen again. There is a hello for Optic Gaming. Plenty of grenades left for Tyloo at this point, 1 minute 20 on the clock, and here is a flash to force a CT away from that car position.
Yeah, this is cool. It's just going kind of as expected. Tyloo cover all their bases, have to wait for those nades to go away. That's a good peek from somebody. That's actually really important. This was a timing in which Optic are supposed to be able to take banana, but they have been unable to do so. And they can't just give up everything on the map. They've got to try to get something, and somebody just wins the battle again, just jumping constantly. Is he playing Counter-Strike or Quake right now? We've got somebody going back in for another one. Almost gets himself number 4. That is a heroic effort from him, and it will be finished off by Bentet. Tyloo, they were prepared that round much better than the previous time.
I was impressed with the consistency of his strafe jump peak. It was fun to watch. 11-8 in favour of Optic Gaming. That makes me think, a bit random, but I feel like we should have a surf contest at a tournament with the players. There's plenty of players who are big on surfing. Virtual surfing, of course.
It's always fun to watch Forest warm up with surf. Surf is actually a great warm up, actually, for mouse control. Because there's actually, like, you're actually practicing the same movement it would be to do tracking aim, which is what you use for crosshair placement and so on and so forth. So, and also you have the sharp flicks as well. So it's actually like a quite fun and novel way to practice some mouse mechanics to warm up.
Config is walking through a smoke top mid, or he was, smoke's gone now, trying to pre-fire some angles with the Glocks. 5 Glocks! We saw it close enough from Tyloo in a round where he tried to make it expensive for the CT side. I feel like it's been a while since we've seen a round 1 with 5 Glocks. But here we go, Optic huddled together, sharing the body heat, but the Penguins are about to charge top mid. The numbers game, you can see them jumping wide. So again, even though you see complete failure here, you can see the intention of Optic. The initial players, they go wide to draw the fire of their opponent, and then the other guys come in to try and shoot them for free if they can. It's an important approach to know when you're in a situation like that. Same as pushing Monster on B of Overpass. Have your initial players go wide so you can spread out and try and abuse that numbers game, get the trades in if necessary. 11-9, Optic back on the buy. 5 AKs versus a very well equipped Tyloo with 3 AK-47s and AWP on Excurrent.
Yeah, this is a really pivotal moment. You know, if Tyloo are going to attempt to do what Optic did in the first half, this is what, you know, they have to win the round now, just cripple the economy of their opponents, then grow their economy massively, and then things start to get really good. They bought 3 AK-47s already to play with in this round. That's always a sign of confidence here, and here comes the challenge from the team players. That is beautiful from Config. The spray from Bentet, only good for 1, gets some damage, but it is a fast response here into that B bomb site here for the Optic Gaming players. As Excurrent quickly makes his way through construction for position. Maybe, just maybe, he can get someone. No, he smokes off, but he has the angles. That's close. Oh, the second follows, and the bomb is not down. Someone has to go and plant it.
Well, they tried to plant it exactly the same place. It appears that they might. A slight difference, but people are still alive. 3 versus 3 retake. They know where the sniper rifle is, and now he's trying to make things loud for them and go for some wall bangs. In the meantime, KGB picked off, but there goes Captain Mo. He's coming up from that banana position. Excurrent. How on earth did he get that one? Gade will be frustrated, but now it's Config 1 versus 2. The Molotov will force him away, and he can't get into enough cover to deal with the last 2 Tyloo players. Double figures for Tyloo. The gap is reduced to 1. That's 4 rounds in a row for Tyloo. And Optic will just about be able to buy, and they may be inclined to with only 2 Tyloo players surviving.
That wallbang is becoming, like, people are finally starting to, everyone's finally starting to learn how to do that. I've seen it happen so many times in professional matches that people just like kind of misline it up, and there's no reason to do that because the smoke is always the same, which we saw in front of Excurrent there, and he just nailed it, and we're seeing that consistently now. I wonder if people will have to start to consider that and to put flashes there or find some way to deal with it, because that lost them the round, like having Snappy die in that way.
Yeah, what is the plan B if a CT is next to you in construction and is going to wallbang you? What is the alternative option? Something to consider, because if you go like next to the fountain, for example, you might have if like a rifle is there, he may try and spray first oranges, second oranges. So perhaps there is no ideal situation.
Yeah, maybe you just have to plant a bit further, like in front of the smoke, instead of behind the coffins. At least it's more unpredictable.
pistols again for Optic Gaming. They won't force it up, they want the utility, and again they can again, look at that, 4, it's a snail of smoke grenades in the pit position, and Mo only good for the 1 kill. That's a rifle to be collected by these players, but how do they get onto the site? Do Tyloo know how many players are in the pit at the moment? Well, they can start subtracting some of those numbers. And there it is, 11 to 11. We are tied up.
Great stuff from Tyloo here. They are really steamrolling Optic on this CT side of theirs. Really cool to see that. That, you know, the horrible kind of memories of themselves getting crushed in the first half was, you know, didn't faze them whatsoever. They knew that their time would come, and it looks like that is the case. Their money is looking fantastic. Optic, can they stop this? Here comes Optic very quickly up and on it, through the fire, and into somebody's rifle. And he gets the follow-up. That's a terrible start. That's terrible. What do you do from here? Both of these two players immediately on your banana aggression. It's failed so hard. It's a tough situation. Let's see what they come up with. So, flash over the wall so that Yugi can peek and clear top banana. It's a start, but they are going to have to just somehow walk into an angle and get a pick. I mean, how else do you come back from this position?
They have the talent for it. A flashbang over the roof could take a peek from Coffin away. That's where somebody is. Not an AWP, so arguably could be worse. Optic Gaming. Now, they still have a numbers advantage in terms of the engagement on this site. Tyloo playing the waiting game. There's going to be a very long rotation from those CTs. Bentet's going to bounce the flashbang over the wall. Yes, he is forced away from the Molotov. Oh, the grenade lands at his feet. He even jumps, trying to like go for a quick boost. Rocket jump there. Nice spread from somebody. That leaves Cajun beat alone. 1 versus 4. Bentet now waits. Oh, that's awkward for him. He looks away just as Bentet peeks, and there will be no bomb plant for Optic Gaming, and that means they are potentially back into eco territory, around 3,500 average for the team.
Oh dear, they are having quite the problem.
That second frag was huge by somebody. Huge. Look at the money on the CT side. Didi's got $15,000. He's got game show money.
Yes, it's out of hand, it's out of control. Optic Gaming's T side not looking good right now, but let's not forget what happened to Tyloo. You know, they had a huge struggle too. Optic just need to have a good couple rounds to get themselves back in it. Maybe they'll have a chance to win it. Very passive setup here. You can see that Tyloo are expectant of the previous shenanigans. Once again, no balcony pops will ruin their day this time. Yuki just making sure that that bomb absolutely does not drop on the floor. And the balcony pop will be forced, but Tyloo were ready for this.
So here is that strat again, where they put the smoke down to try and isolate players on the side. But Didi and Mo are here. Didi blind, he gets 1 kill though, and it's a stream of kills from the CT side, and Mo still has the balcony area shut down from the pit. Now Config, 1 versus 4. We've seen him do things with Eagle. There's 1 kill, and now he's got 50 seconds to try and reset the situation. The bomb is in the pit. He's expecting a rotation. Now the question is for Tyloo, I mean, the longer he waits, do they send somebody towards the arch position? Somebody that doesn't know if Config has crossed yet, but never mind, because Execute will take him out near the boiler. 13 rounds for Tyloo. Lots of money for the CT side, which is a huge factor moving into the final rounds of this game.
Yeah, it really is. Tyloo are looking so strong at the moment, and Optic need to find some new breath of fresh air or some new breath of life.
Maximum loss bonus, 3,400 a round.
What's the solution here for them? They've generally been unsuccessful taking banana. That's kind of somewhat of an issue. They seem to always be taking losses there. You know, we saw that previous round where they were really trying to get a fast timing on it, and they lost 2 players straight away. So maybe they can consider trying to do a delayed banana take, wait for those initial CT grenades to go, and then execute into that banana position with your grenades later on, and that way there's less risk. You lose some time, but there's less risk. Okay, Excurate with the AWP. What is he up to here? Okay, looking to play things standard and safe. Nice nade there onto Bentet's position. Some nades thrown back. Will not hit the mark. You can see Optic actually evacuating the position. Perhaps anticipating those counter grenades. And it slows down whilst they ready themselves to retake Banana at a delayed timing. This is what I was talking about. This is a safer way to do it.
The flash from Snappy helped the team burst into Banana. And Bentet and somebody are both playing from the CT position. Excurate starting to rotate as grenades are deployed by Optic to continue to move up Banana. We see Bentet shoulder peeking. So Excurate's deployed the smoke grenade, if I'm not mistaken. Indeed he has. Not a very good one though, as you can see. There's a pretty big gap. So that gives Tyloo some extra time, and if Optic try to execute and they have forced through that smoke grenade once again, as we've seen in previous matches of Inferno so far in this major, that's going to be a big problem. 40 seconds, and this is quite something. Now, the CTs can opt to stand in the pull position because you're less likely to be sprayed down from that position. People will try to shoot towards coffins and so on. This is going to be a late one.
The nades soar through the air as somebody goes for a preemptive peek. They're trying to catch them as they position into the bomb site. Gade will burn Bentet. Config will rip somebody's head off, and Excurate once again from this position previously is able to stop the plant, but you can see that Snappy is planting in a slightly more safe position. They're on top of the coffins as opposed to in that little nook. And a 5v3. Oh, that's not gone well, has it? Okay, well, never mind then. Let's get out of here.
I guess it did the job. So when those all those grenades came in from Optic, very meticulous, well-placed Molotovs on the site. I think somebody had a pop flash which just about stopped their initial push, but Optic still managed to get the frags, and that is the round. So now we see adaptation from Optic, an elevated plant which gives them more cover from the wall itself as opposed to being shot through it. So that's a plus. Something for all the other teams to watch. 3 plays survive for Tyloo, but again, they've got money. But can they reset? Optic have the money to buy regardless at this point. So this is going to be a very interesting few rounds. Do you have a favourite at this juncture?
Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult. It's hard to know.
Is that a no then?
I think you have to go with Tyloo at this point. Optic haven't really shown a consistently good approach. I'd like to see them maybe again.
Did you see how those odds changed?
Yeah.
Went from 5 to 1.5. Sorry to interrupt you. Excurate has been taken out towards the bomb site very early indeed. A change of pace from Optic, and somebody takes out the bomb. Oh, can he get the second one? He was so close, but KGB stops it. That is a rescue from KGB. If that flank, what essentially became a flank, hadn't worked out for Optic, who knows what would have happened. The AWP would have had ankles on the bomb, but here we are.
Yeah, they reset the position. I was going to say that I wanted to see them hit B again, because I think what they learned in that last round is that because Tyloo was so passive, if Tyloo allowed them to do that and they set up a set piece onto the B site, it was so effective. Their grenades were perfect, and that's something they can just replicate. So I think that's what they were going for, but of course Tyloo trying to respond, they get caught. Now we get a 4v3, the reset. Optic used that time on the clock to make things really awkward for Tyloo, to make this a more consistent round for themselves. But it seems like Tyloo may have stacked towards the right bomb site here, because Optic are going into that B side where there's 2 Tyloo players, but can they stop it this time?
4 players for Optic ready to take the B bomb site, and it seems that Tyloo are looking to gamble stack one site, I suppose, and save otherwise. That's what maybe they're doing. I mean, DD's got $11,000 in the bank. Excurate's got 9,000, although we are starting to head towards a time where it quickly disappears, so maybe it's just a gamble in general. Who better than Bentet to rely on? Is he going to go through the smoke? He must have been seen there. But look at the time to plant the bomb. That's a massive frag from him. They know he's going to peek. Where do they plant the bomb? They go for the default plant. Bentet spraying. Oh, it looks like he had the right angle, but the bomb has been planted.
That was close. It's going to be very hard for them to get in here. They don't have too much in the way of grenades. Just one single flashbang left as Cajun turns away. And the perfect timing. He's going to just turn the corner now and catch one. There's one more to be quarters. A very low DD will also fall to Cajun, and Bentet realizes that his chances are basically nil now in this position as he tries to back away and see what he can accomplish with that repositioning. But there's no way into the bomb site, and if he hangs out here for too long, the bomb is going to take him out. So waiting to hear the footsteps. Now he knows that the opponents have left and he can safely get out of there.
I wonder what his intention was there, because they were still it's time to try and get something done in a 1 versus 2, and they've got the money to try and get something done. So I don't know if he was perhaps banking on them leaving early, but he has to be around there somewhere, so we shall see. Maybe he just decided, let me just hold on to my weapon. Somebody's down to 1600 now, so the money is getting crucial. So at this point, there is a argument to be made to be more conservative in their approach. Tyloo, the score is tied now. Who can handle the pressure better?
Yeah, I would like to see Optic do like a late B set piece. Just like play around, just make it look normal, play a default, and then go into a late B set piece once again, because they have been really effective, and if you play a slow round, it's quite likely that Tyloo will get passive, and they will give up an honor, and it'll be easy to take. And if they've got 5 people throwing grenades, it gets very strong. So you really want to try to maintain the integrity of numbers into the mid-late rounds to run that set piece. And they are just holding right now, and eventually, you know, they can wait Tyloo out a bit here and see what the response is from Tyloo. They shouldn't give it up too easily. That would be according to plan for Optic.
Tyloo still have 4 smoke grenades at this point, 1 minute, and that's a problem for Optic Gaming. Oh boy, no more jumping for you. This is not Super Mario Brothers. In fact, there are no 6 golden coins. 4 players off the 5 for Optic on Banana. And Optic, sorry, Cajun B is in A-App, so we can still try to get something done here. Perhaps move through the apartments and pick off a rotator. So we were talking about the smoke grenades. 1 has been lost. There are 3 on around B for the time being. And yeah, that's also a big frag because it takes the smoke grenade away. DD is the only man with a smoke now, and he's next to Library. So the B guys will feel exposed. 29 seconds, and the bomb's at the bottom of mid, so they're faking B. They're pulling DD out of position. He's heading towards that B bomb site. It seems that Gade will be the one to invest, but he will rotate away as well. Can DD get back in time? Mo is in all kinds of trouble. Sees the Molotov come out of apartments, and here are some players towards the arch. He finally gets a spray, can't get a transfer. DD popping out of the Library position, so many targets. He's still alive. Can he get a second frag? No, but he's done some damage. 2 versus 3.
Well, the fake kind of works out here in the end, but Yugi sort of try to make this work. Will he go for that peak? He doesn't have to. Extra is on that angle. He desperately wants that peak to be made by the T player, but Yugi stays very disciplined, makes it perfect, and they will close down the round. And this was a beautiful finish. Optic preyed right there on the fear that Tyloo have of how successful these B attacks have been, because they had this spot where it's you know, a situation where it's like, what was it, 5v4 or 4v4, like regardless, it's 4 CTs, and the CTs have to make a decision, and they have Banana, they set up the push, they make it, and they go and they decide to make it a fake instead of just going for the full push, knowing that that fear that they placed into Tyloo in the previous rounds, that conditioning should surely make it a successful fake, and it was very successful.
Yeah, that's an example of a team preying on the evidence provided by previous behaviour and then doing something different.
It's great calling from Optic.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're in a position to be able to adapt to things better. And that's an issue, especially when we are this late into the game. Now, Tyloo, this is last chance saloon for them. And indeed, that pressure is being felt, as you can see. 2 sniper rifles coming out for Tyloo in this round. This is a tactical timeout from Tyloo, and they do need this breather. I think that's clear.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Just the release of energy and some time to refocus. They are well equipped in terms of utility. I really think that that round could have potentially been very different had that jumping frag not happened. Because if he is able to see them and fall back, like, those smokes are a colossal problem. But here we are. Optic Gaming in the lead once again. It's been 3 rounds in a row now for Optic Gaming after a dominant CT side from Tyloo, as Optic's CT side was dominant for the most part.
And one of the things that's really awesome, if you have a really good caller on your team, once you have a couple of rounds where you see some success and weakness in the opposition, then you have something to build on. Because again, you can start to condition your opponents, you can start to build a structure for what makes like a lot of sense from a calling perspective. And I think that's what's really been happening here for Optic. You know, we saw the success on the B plays, and then they started toying with that. They started making it safer. They find out the set piece works out really well. They guarantee it with a late round play and so on. But here they want to mix things up. And it looks like Tyloo are ahead of the game. They've got 4 players ready towards this A-bomb site to defend this, what is going to be a top-mid burst. That said, only 2 players towards Arch will be able to face this initially, and they will be smoked off. So what will Tyloo do with this?
What a change from Tyloo. They had a 3-man setup on B, waiting for a pop flash play in case of emergency. Now they've got 4 on the A side. Config going for some pre-fire, but it was completely blind and exposed. Repositioning. Look at it from somebody. That's a great snap from him, but he can't get around the corner, can't get to cover. Didn't look for the trade frag. I just wanted to get out of there. Maybe thinking they'd be further towards that short position, and now Optic start to change their mind. Execute is repositioning, but his timing better be on point. Not hitting the mark there. A warning shot perhaps. What do Optic do? Still heading towards that bomb site. There's a nice flick from Execute. Now there's only 2 players left. Now how do they trade? He resets the position once, and once again 13 seconds, so he just tries to hide behind new box. That's massive from Execute. Oh, he doesn't see the shadow. Snappy can't win around now. Surely there's no time to plant the bomb, or is there?
Oh my god, he actually has time, but there's no way to survive. Oh, just barely time. If he had made an instant headshot, maybe he could do something incredible, but obviously the odds are so slim to none there, and it will be a great round from Tyloo in the end, and Tyloo seemed to just know. Again, if going off of my previous statement about the calling from Optic, Optic understood how to sort of dictate the pace and find the weaknesses of Tyloo and manipulate them. In this round, this was the first time in a while we've seen where Tyloo get a step ahead of what Optic are calling. They put 4 players towards the A bomb site. They have this awesome setup, and Optic gave them every reason to think that Banana is super important to hold on to, because they put so much pressure on taking Banana. That's been the source of a lot of success for Optic, yet Tyloo just abandoned that. 4 players on A. That's brilliant.
This is heart-in-mouth stuff. If Optic Gaming lose this round, they've got the money to bring some AKs out. If Tyloo lose this round, it's not going to be very good at all. Let's see how things begin. Optic moving quicker. Oh, they could catch Tyloo off guard. Did Execute see something there? You can see he's been warded off the jumping. Smoke grenade on the half wall now. Not really something you want to be jumping through, does he? Oh, looking for the boost. Oh, there be one. Config walking near gate. It's possible.
Tense stuff. Optic, they want to go back to what works, James. They want to go back to that B set piece.
Now, in a previous round, a minute 10, Tyloo had 4 smokes left. Somebody's the only man with a smoke left, and he hasn't been baited into throwing it just yet. He doesn't believe this grenade. Look at the setup on the A site in the meantime. Captain Mo's holding top mid. There's nobody towards Arch. Tyloo have expectations towards this A site. Optic lining up their grenades. Will we see that smoke to isolate the Arch position again?
Optic, this is going to be very tough. Tyloo are fairly well prepared for this. The grenades are going to have to be really on point, and they don't have too many left at this stage. And Tyloo wondering what's going on. Captain Mo's going to take a look. Oh, the 1v1 against Yugi. Yugi's going to come out on top here as DD Defense finds the bomb. 15 seconds to plant in. Bentel gets shot in the side of the face, and now things are starting to get very difficult. DD in the corner by himself, no support, and that's going to be a bomb plant. Yugi finishing it off in style as somebody goes down towards Library, and Optic. Oh my god, they make that work with the wrap. And that was such a good choice, because the quad side of the A push was really well set up for by Tyloo. It was the outside that was very vulnerable, and they walked it all the way.
What a decision to make. That seemed like a snap adjustment from Optic Gaming. I mean, it takes guts to take these decisions. Crikey, so much information from all these rounds, these 28 rounds which have passed, and everything continues to change. Tyloo likely to hold on to the AWP unless KGB gets there, but
they got reset pretty hard though. It's going to be hard to get a good buy-in. this happened at the worst possible point, James. They had such crazy money for so long, and then right when they need it most, the money's gone.
What a scrap between these teams. Config heading towards the 30 bomb, 26 kills at the moment. See if he can perhaps get 4 more. As Optic are in a good position at the moment. Tyloo with 3 smoke grenades, a reasonable amount of rifles, but somebody who's been important in this match is on a CZ. He's a top fragger for Tyloo. And indeed, it seems that aggression will be the order of the day. They'll have the crossfire set up post wallbang attempt from Optic.
Yeah. I have to say, I do think the calling's been pretty darn good here from Optic after the the first half of this second half. And Excure, he waits. This is very strong. Oh, that's beautiful. And DD follows up as well with the rifle. That is absolutely what Tyloo needed. Now it's desperation mode from Optic. They've got to find something with the remaining weapons that they have. Yugi needs to open up the round for them. I don't really see them winning this any other way. Or Config, can he find a fast headshot? Mo only has a UMP. It's not a great distance for it. Config absolutely has an advantage in an all-out fight, but Captain Mo will not give him an all-out fight. He's going to be playing the smoke.
Blockerino. They're not standing on each other just yet. He will hit a grenade being primed though, so maybe he gets something out of this. Captain Modo clearing the CT position. And now Tyloo will feel vulnerable on this A site. But what do Optic choose to do? They're still not really giving too many cues away. Yugi jumping. He's trying to give them the impression of something, I can assume, with the sound cues he was making. And here comes the rotation towards the B bomb site. 25 seconds. Still a smoke up on Banana, but soon to disappear. Bentet expecting a wrap, which means that somebody's isolated. How are they going to stop this Tyloo?
Yeah, sees it out. Good counter flashes. Almost 10 seconds now on the clock as Bentet turns the corner. They line up, but he can't get a single one. Yugi with a clutch shot there with the AWP to save them. Now somebody with a CZ. 4 seconds. He's got a plant. The bomb's down. If someone picked it up in time, they're going to survive the players surely. And Tyloo, they secure the overtime. What a clutch shot there onto the player attempting the plant. My God, this one's not over just yet.
That is absolutely crazy. Just the decisions being made from one team to another. Yugi almost has to shoot through 2 of his teammates to take out Bentet there. But still, not enough to win that round. Not enough to win the game. Not yet. And all the money is reset, as is the situation. Who has the momentum now as we move into overtime? This is, I think, the 6th overtime of the day. Although 4 of those were in one match.
Yeah. No, it is, I think. That was crazy. And going into the overtime now, I have no idea who's going to win this. When you're playing that, when you're playing in regulation, you're building up these rounds, and you use most of your playbook, and you start to condition your opponent. As soon as you get to the overtime, like that starts to slowly but surely just go out the window. And I think Jason, in the 5 overtimes they had earlier, or 4, sorry, described it quite well. That people just start playing more risky, and you try to get just extra ounces out of each and every play. And I think that's what we might start to see here. Both teams playing a bit more loose and aggressive. I hope so, at least. That's fun to watch.
This is really awesome. I think it's a great test for Tyloo. Even like whether they win or lose, you can see that they're under so much pressure in all of these rounds, especially while they're on the CT side. And I think it's just good to help you grow as a player in general. Here we go. Everything resumes now. And look at that. The odds are tied up. Everything is even now. They've been swinging all over the place because the CT halves have been so dominant. So you see the first one, like, holy crap. Anyway, AWP on both teams. A 3-man investment towards the banana area for Tyloo, and Config thinks better of it. Light damage taken by Optic at this point, and there is a smoke down on banana. And now Tyloo get into position, but Bentet's been taken out through the smoke by Config. Always up for a dirty frag as Config.
Yeah, that's perfect timing. Optic at first through. This is a great moment for them to do so, but the spray is fantastic for somebody as Excurate lays into them as well. Eventually the trade comes out, but it's a committed play. Optic must make good of this, and they're going to smoke off actually, and they're going to play the 2v3, and they have over a minute to do so. So that's actually not a horrendous situation. They can play with this.
Yeah, Snappy had to smoke off because he was on his own and he's carrying the bomb. If he goes down there, that's a wrap. And now there is some semblance of a reset. Captain Mo, it's basically a 2 versus 1 wherever Optic go at this point because of what Tyloo were trying to cover. Grenade spotted by Execura, and another one, and he's forced to fall back. Now he's got to be careful when he chooses to scope. Has he been heard? There's another flashbang for Snappy. He better make it count. Mo's on the way. There's a smoke in the CT area. Oh, he's blocked himself, and he's not getting around the corner because the flashbang comes just in time, and that is abstatus rude. That is just straight rude from Tyloo. Execura straight in the face. The flashbang and pull saved his bacon. Otherwise, it's probably a bomb plant at the very least.
Great work there from somebody. I felt like that was some great decision making from both teams. You know, the way that they wanted to commit into that position, like a really cool setup from Tyloo as well. Really hard to see which way that one's going to go. Execura though showing his class. Now Tyloo win the first round of overtime. It's 16-15. For those of you audio-only lads.
Ooh, Yugi taking massive damage from a grenade. I have not seen that one go so deep from top mid. That was colossal.
It's not a great start to a round. Tyloo definitely showing some grit and determination here, and I think it was that T side of theirs that was the most questionable, so I'm really curious what happens when the sides do switch, but for now, they're looking pretty good.
Yeah, in that sense, they need as many CT rounds as possible. Config having a look-see. Now, how far will Config choose to go? Because the rest of Optic are looking towards the A site now. I was going to say if he's keeping them honest, maybe he'll see what is going on as Execute comes in, but he's come to join his team. A grenadeless Config, and as you can see there is expectation from the CTs towards the A bomb site. Somebody in the arch itself. I think he was trying to block the grenade perhaps. Peeking ahead of the flashbang. It could have been two. Oh, it's a team kill in fact because players were low and he's fallen back into the smoke. This is so smart because he will hear them running past. Two of them. Config having a look, but surely he will not expect this. This is a master stroke from somebody. Will he even be needed? Yes, he's one more frag for him, man. That is a clean round from Tyloo. They've polished the furniture, everything's shining.
Yeah, the CT side of Tyloo looking really sharp at the moment. And Optic have been struggling with it a lot. Like it's been very difficult for them to make it work. For me, it's the reason they got so many. Well, the reason they got rounds on their T side in regulation was due to good calling, just like really good decision making. Because Tyloo not really, like from an individual standpoint, Tyloo are very difficult to deal with individually, and so you can't hope to really get too much mileage out of just finding like 1v1s. You got to play a really smart team game to get past Tyloo.
I imagine that somebody went through the smoke and arch purely because he doesn't know if he's got time to run all the way back towards library or sites. But the T's can't be expecting him to re-emerge from that smoke afterwards when they have pressure and they've got to run towards the site. So that was really awesome to see, especially from Tyloo. One more round to win for Tyloo, then they've got 3 match points. It is so important that Optic Gaming can survive. But look at what they're equipped with. 1 AK, triple UMP, and a Desert Eagle. Sorry, Asma's saying hello to me. Bentet and somebody on Banana. Banana smoked off once again. This is has been a very trying game of Inferno for both of these teams.
Yeah, I don't want to like call it early or something, but Tyloo, they're looking quite scary here. If they get 3 rounds on this CT side, it's going to be tough for Optic, that's for sure. And Optic decide to make their way towards top mid, but they don't have ramp potential. They're going to be funneling quad, and that is never a good sign. It's desperation here now for Optic Gaming. They are falling like flies as they make their way into the bomb site. The rotation's coming in, and they've barely gotten any ground here. Optic really going for it, does all that he can, but it's not going to be enough. That's 3 rounds. That's every single CT round of overtime 1. As Tyloo switched to that second half, that T side where they had so many problems, they've set themselves up well. They must be confident now, and look at the dejection there in Optic's camp.
It looks like he just opened MP7 skulls. 3 match points for Tyloo, 3 of them. Now, yes, in parts their T side was a struggle and Optic played with confidence, but when you're coming off such momentum for Tyloo, such frustration for Optic, is it going to be like that first half again? I'm not sure. And now it's Optic at 5. When in the first half of normal time, Tyloo were at those numbers. Here we go. Double AWPs for Optic Gaming. They are all in every round. Again, it is match points for Tyloo. Yugi making some plays into Boiler. How far is he going to go? Risk being taken. DD not ready for that one. And that is a closed casket funeral for him.
Now, what is the play here for Tyloo? How do they follow this up? Got plenty of time. Still have 4 players. I mean, typically, if you lose somebody early on, you really need to try to establish the map control and focus on that, because
not somebody, but anybody.
You can't otherwise really do anything in the rounds. And top mid might be the call here. Doesn't seem like there's too much presence around Banana. I mean, they have the bomb there and X-Curate. He's been watching it with the AWP, but that's about it. And yeah, indeed, taking away top mid, or trying to do so. Config looking to be a bit cheeky behind the smoke, but looks like Tyloo will evacuate, and they're going to put the presence on to Banana. Snappy lies in wait with the AWP. Flash over the top there. Very responsible. Forces Snappy back. And he takes another angle. Can they deal with this one, though?
There is gravitational pull towards the B-bomb site. Config cannot say no. Very close now as we look to a 4 versus 2 situation from the C side. There's a flash, however. Config gets a cheeky one. Not flash to go for it again against more blind players, and Config is trying to be the hero that they need. Snappy still on the site. 26 seconds on the clock, and somebody's alone. Sees the gun. Snappy with a pistol, and now Snappy's gone. Does he go for another frag? The CT is continuing to encroach on the B-bomb site. The smoke 2 disappearing. Cajun B knows where the plant is likely. The Molotov is down, but the plant is made. A CT coming from every direction. Can he get the close one? Gates not ready for that. He had no IDs off the site. So many smokes. Now he's got a 1 versus 2. Does he have position, though? Looking towards the coffin area, and there is a player there. Yugi with the AWP as well. There's a Molotov if they realise where he is. But has it gone too far? They're waiting for him to peek, but the fire's not spreading. They haven't touched the bomb just yet. Yugi's going to hold the angle, and he'll be good for it. That's the first round in the bag for Optic. 2 more to go.
Wow. Somebody really made that, like a really good go of that. He made all the right calls. He somehow with 3 players, just charging him down with almost no space to breathe, finds his way into a 1v1 on Banana, hits the shot, and I feel like he was so close to being able to make a second kill there. Beautiful stuff from him. Great attempt. However, as you mentioned, Tyloo conceding the round. Is Optic with their first CT round, and can they follow it up? Of course, they need to follow it up twice. They need to get 2 rounds. Tyloo need only 1 to take this match. What a hard-fought match it's been for both teams as well. And a double ops here for Optic Gaming should be a good way to deal with things, but what did Tyloo have to throw into the mix? Again, we have to recall that in regulation they very much struggled on this T side. They got some good A pushes in. Maybe we'll see that this round. Looks like they're set up for something like that. Optic, though, have a great task force to defend the A-bomb site. They've got 4 players who will be fast to respond. They've left Snappy alone on B.
Grenade incoming, and there is a response from Optic. Almost the same smoke. 4 players here on the A side. There's a minute on the clock for Tyloo. They've got nobody towards Banana. This is still a 5-on-5. Tyloo still at match point, 2 of them. Somebody will use the cover on that smoke grenade to line something up. Please don't bounce off the door. I do wonder if this was slightly down, but we'll soon find out. Config moving up to top mid, but not quite getting anything out of it. He is running distraction though, and somebody's moved to a better angle to thread at Molotov, instantly extinguished by Gade, but can they extinguish the hopes of Tyloo in this round? Trades, Gade looking over the smoke, and they've outstayed their welcome on the balcony. 25 seconds and it's 2 versus 4. DD and X-Curate. Can they get anything else out of this? Smoke's all over the place. They are isolated. Snappy rotating in now as the bomb has been confirmed on the A side. DD going forward, but we've got Config in the corner, and X-Curate will save the AWP. They need the money at this point. Are we going to overtime to Optic Gaming? Maybe it's down to you to tell us.
Yeah, it seems like, if Optic, in that round, Optic basically got into a position where they were 1-4. They left Snappy just playing info with the AWP on Banana, in case Tyloo went back after the top mid take to that B push. And we all know how that position is played out. You know, he drops a smoke or flashes and just delays them. Rotation comes in, and so on, and that allows you to have 4 players on A. And that's the perfect way to play it. And it really is Tyloo's job to try to disrupt that, because if you allow the CTs to have a setup like that, and you don't have a good A split where you can wrap onto that A site, and you're just funneling through the balcony in the quad position, it's very difficult to make it work. Optic showing them that in that round. So Tyloo needs to either find like an earlier pick, or they need to somehow play the round faster so they can force Snappy back, so that Optic cannot have 4 players waiting for them when they go into a bomb site. Here comes the
over time to see how the behavior would be, but Yugi quickly told us that he isn't scared of anything. He's going to play his game regardless of the situation with that peek through boiler. So it is maybe in their hands, Optic, but they need to survive one more round where Tyloo have the advantage on paper at the very least. Smoke on Arch, and somebody will be subject to another one at the 47-second mark. And again, Optic have been comfortable with Snappy alone on Banana. Config was about to rotate, but he's got back towards B, so KGB is here. DD jumping like it's a pistol round, and somebody goes down as well. But Tom's going towards the B bomb site. Snappy being forced back now, getting tagged, but he's still alive with 5 HP. And there's a third play coming in Cajun B. He's got a flashbang, he can flash for his teammate, but instead he's coming in as a cavalry. Config delivering so many frags though, and here we are, overtime number 2. And I really feel like those odds are going to keep spinning. They're in a tombola, but surely it is advantage Optic now.
Yeah, you got to feel like that, especially how dominant that CT side was. Tyloo looked really lost, and I mean, obviously, you know, we have a similar situation for Optic on their T side as well. So it's really a battle of, you know, who can either improve their T side or who just weakens their CT side significantly. So it's one of those games, and as you say, you know, Tyloo had their chance at momentum and, you know, moving into their T side, but now it's Optic's time.
So basically, nobody can win T rounds at the moment, and that puts Tyloo on the back foot. Perhaps walking to the edge of the cliff. Snappy and Yugi with 2 AWPs at the beginning. Now, in that scenario, if Optic, it didn't matter before because they were against match point, but if you lose the first 2 rounds with CTs, when you have double orbs, you're going to be in a really bad spot for the last round, unless you save the bunch. Yugi again getting super aggressive, and let's not forget, in normal time, Optic were taking liberties on Optic's CT side, pushing, getting very aggressive versus Tyloo, and it worked time and time again, and it continues to do so here in overtime number 2.
So yeah, one of these teams looking for 24 rounds. Well, both teams looking for 24 rounds. One of them will get it, potentially. To take this one over the line, and indeed not the best start. But Tyloo, you know, they're about to burst into this site. Maybe they can make it work. 3 players here to respond from Optic Gaming, waiting patiently. KGB tries to track that player through the smoke. Is successful in the end, but DD will entry frag onto Config. Oh! They line up for Snappy, and he'll absolutely deny Tyloo. And there it is, finishing off the job. Beautiful stuff from Snappy. Optic Gaming 19, Tyloo 18.
No plant for Tyloo, no extra money, and while that doesn't matter now, it may do in the next round. Smokes, variants, and double. Ooh, feel it. That's exactly what you want. What a boost. What a mental boost in a second overtime. 5 AKs for Tyloo. Now, what will their approach be in this round? Yugi continues to look for these early picks. There's nothing Tyloo can really do to stop this. Well, we've got a flashback. They anticipated it this time. So maybe there is something they can do.
Yeah, that's so awesome to having the extra detail. $200 saves a life in Counter-Strike. Donate $200. And deep position for Config here. We saw how good that setup was. Config, or a player playing rifle close and having the AWP far away. Tyloo worked that setup on Banana as well to great effect on their CT side. And Optic will do the same. So we'll see whether or not Tyloo now, after losing a lot of health on DD and Excurate, can somehow find a way to salvage the round as they take top mid away. But the Optic having Banana as they do is a problem, because they have fast flanks if they want it, and they have fast information if they want it. Here goes Tyloo back to that position, and Snappy's waiting for it. Will there be a flash?
Does he set his ground to support his teammate? Once Config starts firing, Config maybe doesn't even need any support. 2 players taken out, and they know no one else is there. And with the smoke down, surely it has to be an A play now. The rotation starting for Snappy, making his way over there. Yugi moving towards the library position. The Molotov, they know exactly. They've taken the choices away from Tyloo. Tyloo have been forced. Does he go for the repeat? He can have a pop up if he needs one, but he's going for the bait setup with his teammate. Again, kind of a Liquid-esque setup there, but here we go, 4 versus 1, and if they don't plant the bomb, what are they going to have in the next round? Excurate, 1 versus 2. All of a sudden, it becomes winnable. He's got 2 frags so far. Snappy's in the red near library, and Config's at top mid.
And importantly, as you mentioned, the bomb has gone down, so at the very least money for his teammates, but maybe a round as well. Excurate, we know what he's capable of, waiting in the corner of the bomb site, back against the wall. Can these CTs find a way to trade him if he gets the first kill? There it is, looking for the second player, knows he's towards the right side. Here's the jumping Config with the vantage point, looking for the peek. Excurate, discipline, beautiful peek comes in, it's wide, but Config still nails it, and he's got plenty of time, I think, to get the defuse in.
Oh, does he though?
Oh, it's a bit close. Oh, it's actually a bit close, isn't it?
It is a bit close. I mean, he couldn't have even jumped into it because he's got 39 HP, but he's got a defuse there. Whoa, that was a close one. If he had more HP, I think he would just jump into it a bit early, but we've seen that go wrong. We've seen that go wrong.
Yeah, we have. It's funny because that banana setup, the way that it crushed Tyloo crushed Optic Gaming the exact same way in previous rounds when they were on CT, so it's just quite funny. But it's hard to know that you have to throw a Molotov to the logs, because so commonly it's going to be that there'll just be an AWPer playing deep, well, far back by himself. So do you want to throw that Molotov every time? That's expensive.
1 more round, and we spoke about it in the first overtime, but it's so crucial for Tyloo that they can get a round out of this. And again, we see the importance of the bomb plant for the utility here. For the T side, Captain Mo halfway up banana, waiting to see what's going on. Do they make a fast play here? Who knows? 2 players for Optic Gaming, and sometimes 2 players has been enough for Optic Gaming on this B bomb site. This time there's no early pick in favour of Optic, just like the last round. And I don't expect that Tyloo will get those early picks, as Optic did when Tyloo moved to the CT side. So really, Optic Gaming have more than one advantage here. Are we going to see a 5 versus 2 on the site? Plenty of grenades for Optic. How long will Tyloo wait? Because they know that Optic have been aggressive. They don't know if Optic are peeking top mid, for example, so that might spur them on to make a play through a smoke.
Quiet before the storm. In comes the storm. Let's see if it can be stopped. Snappy picks up the first player. Config though, he's been so reliable. Gets one. Oh, he's so close with the second, but no dice. 3v3 here. Cajun spots Excurate into pool, as Excurate will now ferry that bomb into position for the plant, and we'll see the 3v3 retake.
Bentet's in a position to hear Gade running up the speedway area. Do they read that all 3 players are in CT? He's still looking towards banana. And Molotov towards new box, but nobody's there. Somebody standing in a smoke grenade. Is Cajun be ready for this angle? It's Yugi with the AWP. That gets awkward now. I don't know what's behind him. I don't know how much we've seen in the def cam, but there's a potential trade. But no, Gade says no. Leaving Bentet at 1 versus 2. The ever dependable Bentet, but not today, not this time. It is 3 match points for Optic now, moving into their T side.
You can see why they put Gade on the pit position. He is quite scary with those multi-kills with the rifle. Very good stuff from Gade. Super focused. Just clearing out 3 players here by himself. Just going for those sprays. Beautiful crosshair placement as well. And the trend continues. Just everyone winning all the CT rounds. He's going to pick up their first T round. Will it be Optic? Because they have 3 chances now to put this match to a close. And I think that's definitely got to be in their interest at this point, because how long can you keep this up for? I guess you just have to ask NIP and Astralis, I suppose.
All right then, Tyloo can be afforded no mistakes. 3 match points for Optic. This one has been a slog for both of these sides. Optic content to move with 5 AK-47s. which you could argue will give them more trade frag power should it be required. But many a player here capable of a multi-kill, as evidenced already. Captain Mo perhaps expecting some favour from Optic towards the apartments, timing things with a HE grenade. The bomb is in tow. Gabe looks like he might be lining up a flashbang. The smoke in apartments. Mo's got to keep his gun out though. CT smoking a double stack as well. And oh, somebody. This is interesting. This is a lot of information, but it's also brittle because if he goes down, that's an empty B. So he will choose to fall back to a more traditional position.
Smart. Also smart from Optic. They were going to go for a balcony burst, thinking that it would be unexpected, but Tyloo was just so prepared for it, and they pressed the big red abort button on that one. But Tyloo, they still have all the information. The only way out of this is Optic to just hit some incredible shots. They are not favored in this position whatsoever. This round has gone wrong for Optic in a variety of ways, and they have to somehow now salvage that. And Xcurit's ready and waiting. That is incredibly quick from Xcurit. How do you trade that? You can't. I don't think it's even possible. And now they've got 20 seconds to go, and Xcurit's still a huge issue.
They hear the scope. Are they going to go towards... Well, they got no time really. They have to go towards A, but Tyloo are in a really good spot. DD with a multi-frag, and Captain Mo's there to clean up. There were a lot of perfect situations there for Tyloo. It looked like they were about to push short Optic Gaming, but there was a flash from somewhere. As soon as they turned the corner, they were completely white, had to fall back. Then they had 4 people just standing up top mid. That must have been a surprise. I don't think they were expecting the orb to peek from that particular angle, which is why he stopped there. I think they were probably expecting a sniper to be towards the library position. 2 more attempts for Optic Gaming. But again, they have a similar problem in that they did not plant the bomb. That may have a part to play. We will keep an eye on that.
I think it looks a lot worse than it is in some senses, that last round 2 for Optic, because they went for a gamble, and it was expected, the balcony pop, and then they gave up everything on the map to do it and lost a player. So there's just no good way out of that if Tyloo play advantages correctly, which they did. And looking to go from strength to strength here, Tyloo, as the mid-take comes in from Optic. Xcurit looking to create problems, and he is ever consistent. And how do they deal with Xcurit? Apparently there is no way. Eventually the trade comes in, but he's done so much damage. What do Optic do from here?
Flashbang, which allows Bentet to peek with the flash behind him. Looking to isolate these players from the bomb, or at least get himself a 1 versus 1. In the meantime, somebody's playing Jack in the Box with a giant gun. Bentet getting close to the smoke now with the bomb behind it, and this is quite the predicament for Optic Gaming. Somebody, is he going to peek again? Does he go up? They're off mid for the time being. He sees a trajectory. There is a free kill for him. That's a 4 versus 2. Bentet popping out, but he didn't see the player in the smoke, and that gives opportunity for Optic Gaming, starting to move towards the B bomb site, but so is somebody.
There's actually a chance here. If they can take down somebody, maybe there's a world where they can do this. Oh, it's a grenade out. It hits somebody, I suppose. Maybe that counts. He has another go of it, though, with the AWP looking towards the side. Hits the shot, but there's 20 seconds now to plant the bomb. Yuki has time and space. He's picked up the AK. I don't know if he has time to really go for an AWP, unfortunately, but a 1 versus 2 after plant. This is doable, but he has no idea where the CTs are coming from.
Mo and DD, no flashes. They have so much area. It's a check, and well, there it is. Mo says no. That's another round in the bag for Tyloo. There's 1 more to go. Crucially, Optic got the plant at least, but that was quite something. These rounds. Oh, I feel like if anybody wins a T round in a half, that's it. But we'll see.
Crack open the champagne.
Yeah, we'll see. Tyloo have got 1 more to go. Now, do Optic do something wild? Do they play super slow? Do they wait to thin out the grenades of Tyloo? What can they do to make Tyloo uncomfortable, to catch him out of position? They did well in previous rounds to isolate players. What do they choose to do?
Looks like they want to go for a banana take after they wait out the initial CT grenades. You can see Snappy lines up the flashbang, and Bentet and somebody will be looking to get a frag as they try to take that position. And if they're able to do that and fall back safely, again, Optic play with a man disadvantage early on, and that keeps happening. Bentet's out there. He's going to be cautious if that smoke is soon to dissipate, but looks like it's been refreshed. how cautious Optic are. They really don't want to drop a player early here. It's been too much the pattern, but it still might happen. Somebody boost it up. This is a dangerous position. How do you deal with this? Will they try to pre-fire it? Oh my god, it's so scary. Config. Oh man, another flashbang perhaps. There it is, and somebody will not get a frag. He goes back in for more though, and he gets it. He's not leaving without a kill. My god.
He is on his own. Oh, he's still alive. He's got a... I mean, there's no rotation at all from Tyloo. Why are they non-believers? They just left somebody to just hold the site, and he's only got 3 people on Arch. Now DD's starting to make his way, but it's almost as if their psychic Optic have slowed everything down. Maybe to suggest that they're going away. They've got some kind of motorcycle tower going on almost on the broken wall. And now we've got 3 people on the B bomb site. The wait may have paid off. Somebody going back, and there it is. Config flying by a second one. There's more grenades flying in, but somebody still has a nice angle. It's all blue, and we are going to overtime number 2. All CT rounds in overtime.
Oh my god! What is like? It's so funny when you're saying like, "Oh, are they non-believers?" And you think about how aggressive somebody's playing as well. Like he's re-peaking so much. There were so many chances for him to just die there, whether it's a bullet through the wall or like whatever it is. He's just re-peaking constantly, and his teammates are not even touching a rotation at all.
I can't believe
crazy
that they're just like, it takes so many guts to just leave him on his own there. Like all, they just so much harassment. They're like, nah, he'll be alright. They're not going to go all the way in.
And then nothing's happening on the map at all. There's zero information. They're like, yeah, we should rotate now.
It's like, it's scary to watch because I mean, I don't know how you just don't send like the cavalry, everybody.
You know what's going to happen now, James? Optic going to get like 1 or 2 T rounds, and then everyone will start losing CT rounds. That's the next evolution of this game. You know.
This is quite something. Here we go. Tyloo now with 2 AWPs. Somebody's taking some damage there on Banana. Config. He's got these smoke kills. All the jump is what finishes things off, I think, there. Oh no, it's Yugi through the wall, in fact. Not even Config, but he continues to charge. He's so confident, Config. Sees nobody towards coffins, and he's just going to keep going. And now, I was going to say, Tyloo may not expect this, but Excurate is on his way. He's on his way. He's got 1 flashbang. Oh, another flashbang, maybe. Which will be deployed. Config is going to go until he rips somebody's face off, and there it is. Is he ready? Did he see a shadow? Did he see something? I don't think he did. And Expert's here with the AWP. There it is in the face, and he knows the flank is coming, and he's lining it up. In the meantime, Expert's still on his own. There's still no rotation from the other players, but Optic has such good positions this time. Surely they go towards B. They know where Excurate is. They don't know where the other 2 are, but he keeps getting kills.
Yeah, now the rotation comes in from the middle position. I'm not sure if Gade knows about it. He was trying to delay them. They are going back to Banana. They've got both Cajun and Gade there to try to defend them. Oh no, the backs are turned. They've got no idea. Now Gade needs to do something crazy, but he can't do it. Down to Snappy. In he goes. There it is. 1 frag. Next players are very low. This AK could do it, but no. DD will save the day for Tyloo, and it seems as though winning a T round is just not happening. It is a curse to play T rounds in this game.
This is crazy, man. You know, I feel like I do wonder if Config didn't have that position, if Optic would rotate into the granite that is the 8 players on Tyloo who just refuse to move. But that's such an important frag, and then this, it's madness. It's absolute madness. But yes, another CT round has been won. Do we swing back in favor of Tyloo now?
The crazy thing is that I think the reason they didn't expect timing on the flank is because Gade was top mid. We didn't see it on our POV. I was watching on the minimap, and he was playing delay, and they pushed immediately behind him, but just slow enough that he wouldn't hear the audio of the footsteps. It couldn't have been a better timing for that, so it's crazy from Tyloo there. How do you... This is starting to get weird now. This is like the moment when overtime's become weird. Somebody, though, looking for more. Aggression is the name of the game when it comes to these overtime situations, and somebody is out there once again delivering. He is hungry. He's got a quota to fill.
He's got 43 frags. It's like he's smurfing in Silver 1 or something. 43 frags and counting, and now Tyloo completely changed their B setup. They still have 2 smoke grenades. The one is just deployed towards top mid. A third one, rather. So let's see, somebody and Bente, neither of them, all the smokes are towards the A bomb site. Optic Gaming, are they going back towards A? Cajun B was heading towards apartments, but now it seems he will join them on Banana. It's a guessing game for Optic. Never know what Tyloo are up to on their CT side.
This is so interesting. This time, though, it seems like maybe Optic will have space to run this set piece. They've only got 4 players, though, so of course that's less grenades, but that's okay. 4 is enough. It's been quite successful in regulation. But somebody, he's feeling himself right now with this AWP. He goes out there, and he will win. Now it's Bentet with the spray down, looking for big kills, but he only gets 1. 3 versus 3 after plant on the B-bomb site. Will this be the first T round in I don't know how long?
You have to wonder how much Tyloo will invest into this, because if they lose everything, they are going to be quite weakened in the next round. Maybe looking for the Excurate can opening, but Yugi has the angle already. Is there a flash for this position? No, the crouch peak won't be fast enough, and surely it's save time. Someone has to call the save here for Tyloo, because I worry about their money. Somebody's got $150, and now they're trapped, so they can't cross, but they've got full health, so I don't know if they'll survive from here. This is kind of awkward now for the CT side. There is DD with 1 frag, and we've got Snappy moving through. Captain Mo will die. DD's got to pick up the AWP. So this is an issue for Tyloo. This is a massive opportunity for Optic, not just because they've won that T round finally, and the second one could be around the corner. We have to see what kind of buy Tyloo will have.
I was telling you, James, that's the evolution. Everyone's going to win T rounds. You know? Although Optic, they've got to be feeling good after what seems like it must be, I don't know, you're breaking a curse basically at this point. Now, it's a decent look here for Tyloo, all things considered. And Orb still out on that Excurate was saved, as mentioned.
Whoops.
And Optic Gaming perhaps will try to open things up similarly. Somebody doesn't have an AWP. This time he's just on a UMP. So he's not going to be quite the terror that he has been on this Banana position. Just getting 1 frag every single time Optic push up Banana. That's quite a cost. That's quite the toll to pay for this position. And this time they won't have to pay it anymore. Oh dear, perhaps there's a different type of toll now. And yes, it's Excurate. Oh my goodness, Cajun B. His head meeting the guillotine there. That is Excurate's AWP.
And it seems that Optic may keep things simple. Excurate over towards B, let's go towards, A, let's go towards B. Somebody picked off in the smoke. I think the trajectory of the grenade was enough. Bentet's in a lot of trouble now. Up against the AKs. The flash from his teammate comes in, but not quite fast enough. Half a second more, and it might have been something. Excurate, so cheeky. The no-scope, using it as a shotgun, the AWP. Not finding anything. Yugi. Ooh, through the pillar, but he's still alive. Already in the ring, Yugi. Got to be careful.
Yugi picks off DD. Excurate's still out there, though. He knows he's got to go big here in this round. Can he find something? He knows that someone's there. All he can do is try to smoke it off as he pushes forwards. Now it's just Excurate alone, and there's nothing else he can do. It's Gade and Yugi to drive it home. 2 T rounds back to back. That's a luxury. That's a privilege to get 2 rounds. Not 1, but 2 T rounds. Optic must be feeling good. Tyloo, the pressure has to be incredibly, it has to be insane.
Yeah, I mean,
on their shoulders right now.
They actually have to win a round on a T side now. Well, not even 1 round. More than that. They have to win rounds on the T side, and that is a new puzzle. Optic have cracked their puzzle, but Tyloo is still with the Rubik's Cube. And the sand is running low at the top of that timer. Double AWPs for Optic Gaming. Excurate will be sniping as well. Now, let us see what we can see. 40 frags for Config. Continuing to deliver. Has not gone missing in the late game. Somebody with 43 of his own. Right then, Tyloo. Optic with initial grenades towards Banana, standard stuff, and Bentet's being picked off immediately again. Yugi with an aggressive pick early on in the round. Let's not forget the previous time Optic Gaming were on the CT side. He did this repeatedly. He is a nuisance that will not be exterminated.
Yeah, but there is a chance here. Yugi Oh, well, I don't know, actually. I have to take that back because this position looks very strong. Yugi picks off another one. Gade's very blind, but Yugi is in there. Misses the next shot, though. And another one. Maybe there is a chance after all, but the no-scope comes in. The shotgun AWP as Captain Mo delivers death from above as Snappy now rotates on in. Now the bomb is going to be freshly planted. Snappy might feel as though he has the timing to push the smoke. Will he go for it? Yes, he will. USP out. Oh, my goodness, so risky. Has to dodge back through the smoke into safety for the moment. What on earth do you do? This is such a difficult position for Snappy.
So, Captain Mo is rotated off the site completely, so now, I mean, he might think Mo is somebody else, but here we go. And it's so important. I think we saw a brief glimpse of some communication issues for Tyloo because Yugi was peeking repeatedly from double stack, and Excurate ran right past him onto the site, so I do wonder if there were some issues with the calls there for Tyloo, but Captain Mo cleaned up, and there we go. All of a sudden, the T rounds are being won. Let's not forget Optic Gaming started that round with 2 AWPs, I think. I'm right about that, I think. Yeah. So, I mean, you can see what they have left after their rebuy here. It makes such a difference. If Tyloo win this round, they are in a very strong spot to win the match.
It's crazy, isn't it? That clutch from Captain Mo just went nuclear. Unbelievable. Yuki puts Optic in such a strong position, and this setup has done very well for Optic Gaming in the past, and maybe this round it will do the same because in comes Tyloo crawling up the stairs and Yugi's ready, picks up one. The rifle game for Gate though is not on point. He's been having a hard couple rounds here. Yugi trying to do it all. KGB with some good support with the rifle there on the bomb site. And Tyloo, do they follow up with this? This is very difficult to push in. You can see why. KGB gets himself another free one. As Snappy now rated, Excurate, and it's just on DD. And it seems as though there's not much to do as Optic will take the round.
That is match points Optic. First team to 25 rounds to take this mammoth game of Inferno. All the overtimes today, and that really saves Optic in terms of what they have, what they carry into the next round, as well as obviously being at match point. Tyloo, do you have another T round in you? That is the question, and now is the time to find out. Excurate still able to pull out an AWP, lots of AKs for Tyloo, and just M4s in AWP for Optic Gaming. Maybe the AK will make the difference, as it often can. One shot to the head and dead with the AK, you know, for the newer viewers, but with the M4 it will be 2 as everybody is carrying a helmet on the T side. Optic Gaming smoking off Banana once again, standard stuff, top mid smoke as well. Snappy though's playing from Speedway, so I'm not sure what the expectation is, but as there's no fast play at the beginning, he starts to move towards Arch.
Coming up to the minute mark now is Optic have gone back into a 2-3 setup. They started off with 3 on Banana at the beginning of the round, expecting maybe some shenanigans on Banana from Tyloo, but not to be. Tyloo looking for that A play perhaps. They can go back to Banana, but obviously time will start to run low because if you want to do it properly, you've got to flash off angles and various things like that. They don't really have much utility here, so they may be committed to going to A. We'll have to see what their decision is. They are about to throw the A smokes in, so let's see if they're good for this one on the entry. This has to go well. Optic, if they hold here, that's it for Tyloo.
How will they play the post plant? We've got almost 5 guys on the side, 1 player staying top. Snappy's been arched this entire time, some spray from Cage and B. They can use the high ground to look into the pit position, but surely the CTs will expect this. This Excurate top mid, he sees no one else, which means the rest of them can focus elsewhere. The smokes are going. How will they deal with the pit position? DD getting his bell rung, and now Cage and B runs distraction while they come from the arch position, but down Cage and B goes. Game's got to do something, but no one's doing anything, and we're going to overtime again.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I think the pressure is starting to get to some of the players.
T rounds.
Well, because I told you this is how going to happen, James. It's just the way it goes, isn't it? Oh man. I mean, you can see that Gate there. I feel like that's a pressure thing. You know, he saw that Cage and B died, and he's thinking about where Cage and B got shot from. And when he peeked, he didn't check the first 2 angles on his peak, and was tunnel visioning on who Cage and B just probably called out. So it gets really weird at this point. It becomes a game of endurance, a game of how well you handle pressure. And Tyloo, that was a great round. I don't think we saw that in regulation, where they cut off the pit position and just run into the bomb site. That said, it's a setup that you it will only likely look like that if you play it really, really late rounds.
We've seen them do the smokes at least twice. However, we haven't seen that particular play from them.
Right.
I want to see them jump off the balcony and run up top mid again. I like that play. It's fun. It's like a challenge. If you do this, we'll give you £100 if you can do it and survive. Somebody picked off very early on. Overtime number something or other.
3, I think.
3 players. Ooh, damage being done. Optic Gaming, the grenades are on point. This could be a nice round from them. At least it has started in a promising fashion. They've got good grenades. They've taken no damage. And Tyloo are taking nades to the tibia and fibula there.
Alright, well, Config, he's going to just straight right out there. Goodbye, Excurate. And Tyloo, they don't really have a way to get through this, but they are fairly committed at this point. Just go for it. And the lineup for Config is all too easy as he's on 3 kills now. And maybe DD will make it 4. He's stuck by the logs. I think they know he's exactly there, so he is not long for this world, that's for sure. Is there any HEs? There's some Molotovs. Some incendiaries. Let's see those, maybe. Nope, Config will get himself a squad kill, and that'll be the first CT round there for Optic. So, right, maybe back to normalcy. Back to the CT round.
I'm starting to wonder what the most frags is that we've seen from one player in a major. I want to see 60 frags. What was it? What was that match when Guardian played for some team and just like absolutely annihilated the other guys? They were like some lower tier team.
What's that?
I want to see
Guardian
that number.
Annihilated some guys.
Yeah. But I want to see that number. I want to see that number of frags in this game. I want to see 60 frags. Indeed, a CT. To the surprise of no one, a CT round has been won. Now let's see. I mean, these teams have to continue to adapt and come up with ways to surprise their opponent, especially for the CT side, who don't want to be too readable, too predictable in how they set things up. Banana smoked off once again, as is top mid. And we have to keep wondering about these aggressive plays from Yugi. That may have changed as well, though he's looking into Boiler, as I say that, standing in front of a smoke grenade, but he cannot stand there forever, and he better have his timing on point, because he's still standing there, although no one is holding top mid. If they were, I do wonder.
Hitting that 1 minute mark, and Tyloo perhaps, well, they go with what worked before. That play into A, just cutting off the pit positions. Again, it's something that you want to try to do very late rounds, because that's when the CTs will be in the most deep positions and you can isolate them better. But we'll have a 2-man setup here on quad from Optic. This could be dangerous for Tyloo. Yugi's out there. He wants blood with that AWP. He might just get it as well. Delaying things, that incendiary and boiler, definitely makes life more difficult for Tyloo. They're investing in A, but look at the delay game here from Optic. They're going to slow this right down. This will get tough for Tyloo.
Config moving back towards the B bomb site. That Molotov is perfection. It keeps them stuck. But somebody next to it are starting to move around. There are 3 smokes down at the top of A once again, but look at the frags raining in. Wow. Beautiful. Tyloo stopped Optic Gaming with some forward positions. Probably expecting him to be fighting from the site, but look at the adaptation from Optic. Tyloo weren't expecting them to be there.
Yeah, that's awesome to see. That's really cool. Yeah, just denying that top mid can be really strong, especially considering that Tyloo haven't been putting much stock in Banana, but they really have been wanting to operate from top mid, making their late round from that position. So strong to shut it down, and Optic looking for that 3rd CT round that we've been so used to seeing. Mac 10 CZ's out here for Tyloo, gets a bit desperate, and they're going to rush Banana. Snappy, oh my goodness, misses the shot there, the flames obscuring DD perhaps. Config, we've seen him do it before. Can he hold this off by himself?
DD waiting for the rotation bottom mid. That's a nice start from Config. Great adjustment as well, and he's still got 13 bullets in the magazine, but he can't do anything else. 3 on 3. DD's moved up now as 2 players come in from Banana and Yugi. Here's a round construction. Somebody may have a superior angle. Lots to play for in this round still.
Oh dear, that's a big problem. DD needed to get at least a kill there. Now somebody has so much to worry about. He has to go into the open. Oh my god, he finds one. Enough time for a reload. I don't believe it. Somebody delivering once again. Yugi out though. Deagle in play, but it's somebody with a CZ to shut it down. And Tyloo get a very unlikely T round at the last end of that half.
Such a needed round. That round is the lifeline in any half of both of these teams. that round. Will we continue to favour these CT rounds though as the teams change places? Have Optic started to twig about the nature of these non-rotations, if you will, from Tyloo? Because with all the play on Banana, it seems Optic have expectation that a third player will come towards B. Let's exploit A, and then when they end up going towards B, even then, the third player is towards B. So can Tyloo stay on top of things in that regard? Will they still have that brazen, those calm nerves to deal with this? They start with 2 AWPs, Tyloo. And there's the usual bits and bobs. Will we see that heavy grenade beyond that Molotov? We won't this time from Tyloo.
48 kills on somebody, 47 on Config. Those are the two players competing for that 60, James. And somebody might be in the lead after this because they're going to charge his position. He is just reliable as hell. But no! Jugi will take him down for once. And now Bentet's in a scary position with perhaps an entire Optic lineup about to bear upon him. Tyloo actually rotating people this time. And Optic Gaming, they're going to go for this B play, and it's going to be a very big struggle, I think, for Tyloo to hold this. You know, waiting for any information play. I think there's a player playing anti-flash with Gates, or there was at least. Now they move forward for the grenades.
He even has lineups from up there. Dupree got 54 frags earlier today. Let's see if things continue. This would be such a W for Optic Gaming. I've got some attempts through the smoke. Well, the Molotov contains as well. They're trying to fall back because of the flashbangs, and there are 3 fast frags for Tyloo. Make it 4. Cajun B now. That's huge from Cajun B. 2 enormous headshots, and Mo's on the rotation. Cajun B could go anywhere. He's low, but there's so much for Mo to check. Creeping from C to G, he's already got the angle. Mo goes for the crouch peek. Oh my god, Cajun B, what a beautiful attempt from him. That was stunning, those 2 headshots. But no, still no, Tyloo survived.
Oh, I can't believe it. After those 2 kills, you just really want to see him just tie it together. A nice, neat little bow on top, win the round with the clutch, but denied by Captain Mo, who's also been stepping up in this overtime. Okay, so Tyloo, they need 1 more round to equalise with Optic. And what they were able to accomplish in the first half. Let's see if they can do it.
My god, what an attempt. He's a man who was looking forward to rifling after being kind of forced on the AWP in previous teams. And that was a great example of what he can do. A great example. Dan, what's going on, man? What the hell's going on there?
Overtimes. It's crazy. People get aggressive. Everything starts to descend slowly but surely, consistently into madness, and somebody's back on the AWP. He wants again to get those frags rolling in towards Banana, but he's playing more passively here. You can see that Optic Gaming haven't been conditioned by him too much. They're thinking, you know, if he's happy to challenge us, we're going to be confident to just take him down, as per the previous round. Somebody now in a deeper position, and Optic have scared Tyloo away from that Banana position. Quick pop flash there to further convince Tyloo that Optic are working more position towards Banana, as they instead now move towards Apps and presumably top mid as well. A minute to go.
Everybody turning up for Inferno. It's crazy how Bentet hasn't even needed to be the star for Tyloo. So much performance on Banana. 3 players here on the A site now, and it's Optic's turn to that wall of smoke. Oh, Cajun B jumping off the balcony, almost getting shot by his teammates, it seemed. Right then, how do they play post block? The bomb itself needs to cross through these smokes now, and there is just a raw peek from Mo. No flashes I could see. Now DD trying to hold things down. If you've got targets all over the place through the wall, he'll get taken down. Excura on the side, Molotov going in his direction, and he's going to get taken out. Somebody has to get beyond this, but he can't. So they basically win the round from the pit position unless Bentet can clutch. He's got 20 frags so far. Or he could take the high ground and he can avoid Config. Sees 1, he sees 2. Oh, this could be absolutely brutal. There's 1. There's 2. Oh no, there isn't. Now there is. But Config will trade with the AWP. Oh. He had to land that shot, and he did.
Wow, Bentet. He was so close to making that one happen. when would you ever see a play like that, 1v3 retake on that site? Just creeping up into the graveyard position for that 3k. That was crazy close. And Config had to hit a stunning headshot here. Look how incredible the shot had to be for him to stop him from taking the 3 kills and clutching the rounds. That is just insane. But Optic, once again, in position now to take it, James.
And a very good position. The money for Tyloo has been decimated, but as we have seen, we can make no assumptions based on this. No assumptions at all.
Yeah.
Execute on his own top mid, but he can't stand there forever because he's got no cover from Boiler as the clock continues to tick. Now, we see a basic round, if you will, from Optic Gaming. I think Faceit, just simple. They know the money is low. We all know how overtime works at this point. Do they just play the numbers game? It seems they will perhaps look to exhaust what little Tyloo may have towards this B-bomb site. Somebody's literally standing in a smoke grenade at the moment. So it seems indeed they are non-believers. He's got 1 smoke for the team, and he's holding on to it. He didn't think this was real. X-Spirit has now rotated towards the B-bomb site as well. Meanwhile, Cajun just waiting outside apartments. A re-smoke. And he's still holding on to it. He's waiting for more.
40 seconds. And neither team giving up anything so far.
Snappy's dropping the bomb on the floor deliberately. He must be, because they dropped it twice.
Are they going for a double fake? What are they? Okay, well, okay, they're going to go just for a single fake here. And this could actually work because there's 3 players still stuck on the B-bomb site. Now rotation comes in, but 2 players here isolated towards the pit position. DD in the high ground. Can he do something with the fanatical weapons? Captain Mo trying to dodge flashes, and he does so. Picks up a double. Now it's DD, but he gets taken out as well. Somebody darting into the bomb site, trying to stop, trying to leap on that bomb, but he can't do it. It's up to Execure and Bente. 2 versus 3 now to stop this victory from Optic.
Oh, he had him in his sights, and Bentet's exposed now. They can see him, I think, in the corner of that smoke. He's being, oh, he's down to 15 HP, 1 versus 3. Surely this is the end. It is the end. That was so close. The bomb planter was in their sights, but Optic Gaming finally take it over the line. What a massive game of Counter-Strike for both teams. Talk about a war of attrition.
Oh my god, that took a while. Start to test players' endurance, their grit, their experience. How can they handle the pressure of situations when consistently it's 1 round that you either have to get or you lose the match, or you have to get it to just end it. You know? So it's so much pressure all the time.